Alright everybody, it is Monday and Monday is motherfucking Monday. Movement is life. Mike Lee Kanarek, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's motherfucking Monday is about lineage of Mike Lee Kanarek. Okay, so on my Facebook, a guy named Jimmy Machado, is Portuguese guy, real nice guy, said something about lineage, okay? And I'm about to do a huge opening of a program that I'm calling Striking Militia, and I was talking about that. Then he went on there and said, oh, Krav Maga, lineage, this and that. And I said, the Striking Militia is not an Israeli lineage, it is my martial art lineage here in America. So this is what this motherfucking Monday is all about. Mike Lee Kanarek's two lineages. Okay, so I consider me having roots in two worlds. World number one, obviously, is the Israeli combative methodology world. In that world, you have my IDF background, you have Golani Brigade background, you have Lotar, you have לוחמה בשטח בנוי לשעב, you have Loz, לוחמה זהירה, you have Krav Maga, and you have Lotar. That is a whole umbrella of Israeli combative methodology. Okay, in that world, I am totally independent. What I mean by that is, I'm not under nobody. Okay, in other words, when I came to America and I started teaching martial arts, I didn't teach Israeli martial arts. I came to America, and you'll see in another lineage, I came to America for Jeet Kune Do, for Bruce Lee's martial art. That was my goal, martial art wise, was to learn Jeet Kune Do and immerse myself into Bruce Lee's martial art, because Bruce Lee was my childhood hero, my teenager hero. I always wanted to be like Bruce Lee. So when I came to America, I did not teach Israeli martial art. And then September 11 here, this, that, I started teaching Israeli martial art, and then there was a fucking whole issue of trademark. Krav Maga was trademarked by a guy in California, and this video is not about that. And he said, Mike, you can't do it because you have to pay royalties. And then I called who I was under Krav Maga with, which is Ron Mizrahi from New York. And I said, what the fuck is that? He goes, yeah, well, he owns the trademark, so you got to pay him royalties. I said, I'm going to pay royalties to a guy that learned fucking fought. I'm confused, right? And it became a whole fucking mishmash. And I said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to create my own thing. And I created Agana. And I consider myself completely independent in Israeli combative methodologies, not answering to nobody, because I am the head of my system. It has nothing to do with me thinking that other systems are not as good as mine. It has nothing to do for me thinking that Krav Maga is not good, or Lotar is not good, or Isardut is not good. It has to do with, I don't want to answer to nobody, especially to not a civilian that have never fought and go and tell me what fuck to do because he's got a trademark. So Agana was created. So on an Agana or Israeli lineage, Mike Lee Kanarek is completely independent. I have many friends in Krav Maga. I have enemies in Krav Maga. I have friends in Isardut. I don't have enemies in Isardut. I have friends that come from Special Force units, and I have enemies that come from Special Forces units, because people are fucking jealous, or people fucking don't like what I do, and who gives a fuck? I'm independent. You like what I do, that's great. You don't like what I do, go fuck yourself. Okay, so that's always been my mentality, and it's never gonna change. So that's lineage wise Israeli. Let's talk martial art. Okay, my lineage in martial art. Okay, my lineage in martial art is extremely strong because I set it up that way. Okay, I came to America for Jeet Kune Do. Obviously, I couldn't train with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was already dead by the time I came to America. Therefore, I started seeking out who's the next in line. And I got introduced to Joe Louis through Jerry Beasley at the RUJKD, which is Roanoke University JKD, original JKD camp back in 1993 or 94. And a relationship started between me and Joe Louis became my mentor. Okay, so my lineage in martial arts, okay, Bruce Lee, Joe Louis, Mike Lee. Bruce Lee, Joe Louis, Mike Lee. And then whoever is under me, you basically, how I said that, you in that lineage, okay? I have many of my black belts that when Joe Louis was still alive, I directed them to Joe Louis. I said, listen, you want striking? You join Joe Louis' system and you get your ranking there and this and that. When Joe Louis passed away, I became independent as well with that. And now I created Striking Militia. What is Striking Militia? Striking Militia is a hybrid of kickboxing, striking, Muay Thai, Thai boxing, kickboxing, JKD, what the fuck you want to call it, for street fighting, for combative fighting, for self-defense. In other words, striking in a fist fight, a real fist fight, not this bullshit there's a lot of bullshit in martial arts. There's a lot of like, oh, you learn this self-defense and you can beat up somebody twice your size. No. You need to learn how to fist fight. Okay, so striking militia is a hybrid of my entire striking martial art experience. Okay, my most serious, or not most serious, my first serious striking experience was through my Giro Gym Thai boxing Iguf Thailandi in Israel. Okay, so that was my first serious. Up to then, I dwelt into karate. I had a few karate instructors. One of them was Richard in Elat, and there was another guy named Momo in fucking in Rehovot. But it was not. It was just karate, and I'm not making fun of karate. It was just karate. Okay, and then I got introduced to Thai boxing, Iguf Thailandi, through the Majiro Gym system in Israel. Majiro Gym was in Tel Aviv, but it branched it out and ended up being a Majiro Gym in Rehovot, in a branch in Rehovot. And I really fell in love with Thai boxing. So you're looking at from 12 years old, that's what I did. Iguf Thailandi, Thai boxing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. When I came to America, in the quest of me trying to find JKD, I was introduced to Joe Louis. Up to when I was introduced to Joe Louis, I actually immersed myself in Jeet Kune Do, and I did the Wing Chun and the Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do and everything. And there's elements of it that I absolutely love, and there's an element that I think is completely bullshit. Okay, and I'm sure they're gonna start hating me for saying this right now, right? But when I met Joe Louis, I met a guy that was 50 years old while I'm 24 years old, and they could fuck me up. Literally fucked me up, and I was pretty badass at 24 years old. After being in the special forces, I was in great shape, and here comes this guy that's 25 or 26 older than me, and I can do nothing to him, and he became my mentor. So striking militia is that morphed system that I'm gonna say 50% of it is American, totally American. Between JKD, because to me Jeet Kune Do is American. Doesn't matter if Bruce Lee's from fucking Hong Kong, Kowloon, Hong Kong. To me JKD is American. Okay, so it's, striking militia is 50% American between the Jeet Kune Do experience I had and between Joe Louis. And most of this 50% is the bulk of it is pretty much 48% fucking Joe Louis fighting system and directly from Joe Louis, not after Joe Louis passed away and now it's Joe Louis fighting system, and those are great guys. I'm not saying they're not great guys, but I'm talking about the experience straight from the fountainhead from Joe Louis. Okay, so striking militia is 50% American, with 48% being my experience with Joe Louis. The other 35% is Dutch Muay Thai through the Majiro Gym. Okay, Iguf Thailandi in Israel is very Dutch Muay Thai influence because of the Majiro Gym being the first influence of Muay Thai in Israel. And when you go to Iguf Thailandi's studios or gyms in Israel, Machon Iguf Thailandi, it's all Dutch Muay Thai. Most of it is Dutch Muay Thai. But when I came to America, I also trained with Kanarek, which was a Thai Northeast champion, and I want to give homage and tribute because I'm that guy. I will give credit where credit is due, and I got certified under crew. With Kanarek, so 15% of it is traditional Muay Thai. Okay, so what is striking militia? Lineage wise, 50% American, 48% of it is fucking Joe Louis, fucking my experience directly from my mentor, not the political bullshit like organization wise, like when I'm talking about like exchanging leather. 2% of it is still some of the JKD things. There are things that I like with the trapping. Some of it, like I completely discarded. Some of it I absolutely love, and I think it's very street oriented. So there's a few percentage of the 50% that belongs to JKD. 35% Dutch Muay Thai, 15% traditional Muay Thai. So who's Mike Lee Kanarek and what is his lineage? It's like a fucking coin. If you take a coin, let me see if I have a coin in my fucking pocket. Yes, I have. Oh, I have a small coin. If you take a coin, one side of that coin is Israeli combative methodologies. I'm completely independent. I don't listen. I don't answer to no one. The other side of the coin is striking militia. 50% American, 35% Dutch Muay Thai, as done in Israeli Iguf Thailandi, and 15% traditional Muay Thai. That's Mike Lee Kanerek's lineage. So I don't want like when people go on my Facebook, they go on my social media. I don't have Instagram. People keep telling me I should have Instagram, but I don't have Instagram. I have Facebook. I have this channel of YouTube. And when they go on it, all right, what is he? Israeli? Is he kickboxing? There's two sides to the coin. One coexists with the other. Iron sharpens iron. My Israeli stuff gets better for my kickboxing stuff. My kickboxing, Muay Thai, striking, whatever the fuck you want to call it, gets better for my Israeli mentality. So that's the lineage of Mike Lee Kanerek. I hope that kind of makes a little bit more sense. Motherfucking Monday. If you, on that note, there's people coming this weekend to my school to do a striking militia certification. You are in for a fucking treat. It's unbelievable curriculum. It's basically my 30 years of striking martial art full contact in America put into one badass motherfucker curriculum. Alright guys, movement is life, motherfucking Monday, Lineage.